Welcome to our regular meeting of council, in person and live streamed electronically. Our opening of our meeting, land acknowledgement. The council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that this sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located and this meeting is being held is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We'll have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. So moved by Councillor Bass, second by Councillor Crabtree, that the regular meeting of council agenda dated April 16th, 2024 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Crabtree and seconded by Deputy Carroll, that the minutes of the regular meeting of council dated April 2nd, 2024 be approved as presented. All in favor? That's carried. We have no business arising from our minutes of our previous meeting. And now we'll move on to our delegations. I'll turn it over to our moderator.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. Council has appointed me as the moderator this evening. So I'm going to go over how this is going to be laid out for everyone in the audience. I know everybody up front has it, but so first we're going to start with each candidate. We'll provide 5 minutes. Will be provided 5 minutes to address council with an opening statement of why they put their name forward, why they feel they should be the successful applicant, and what they intend to accomplish if appointed to council. The clerk, myself, will provide a 30-second remaining notice if you're getting close to the 5 minutes. And then at 5 minutes, I will hold up a stop, which means you stop speaking and hand the mic over to the person beside you. So this will happen in order of alphabetical order. So you're all set up by alphabetical order this evening. So you'll just pass the mic down amongst yourselves. Once that portion is completed, each applicant will have 2 questions asked, up to 2 questions asked by each individual council member. Each individual council member has the ability to ask their own questions to the applicant in any order that they choose. It does not have to be alphabetical. Applicants will have 2 minutes to respond. Again, 30-second time, and then the stop at the 2-minute mark. The questions asked by council do not need to be the same for each applicant. Upon the completion of the questions from council, we did receive questions from the public up until 2 p.m. today. They're in this box. So I will pull 5 questions and they will be asked to each candidate, and each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. Same 30-second stop. So with the questions from the public, we'll work alphabetically down and then reverse it back for that. Upon the completion of that, council will accept all the information presented this evening, and we will close out our meeting. The special meeting next Tuesday, April 23rd at 6 p.m. in council chambers at the township office, council will choose a candidate to fill the vacant seat. So with that, we will start the first portion of this evening, which is providing 5 minutes to each candidate to address council with their opening statements. And we will start with Jack Cole.
Thank you. I appreciate the chance to be here. Council, appreciate what you've been doing for so many years. And appreciate the opportunity to become my services to fill this vacant position because I've got a stake in the township. We're going to hire me to be the park marshal on the road for some 50 years. It's been a family project that we've bought actually with my mother back when I was in the 20s. And my idea was that we would eventually move up there, all the family would move up there kind of on my own. Well, as I say, time changes everything, but the property itself really hasn't changed at all. It's a beautiful piece. It's for a number of different things, crop, and hay production. We originally bought the property, we thought we would build, run it as an organic farm, that was ultimately. It's never been used organically, but it still is organic and that very exercise. And yet, it's only to use part of that should be. It feels good when we go there. I always do get a chance to go with the family, with others. And we feel fortunate to have had foresight and maybe just a good look at we did. We're lucky, not necessarily to stay the way it is, we're going to be part of a vibrant community in the township. And therefore, we're here to talk about why I can help you and to do that. I like that saying how a township or neighborhood grows and also over time and how we contribute to keep it as a nice, safe place to live, learn, work, and play. The recent notice of rezoning the township, I think, will likely have an impact. I have ideas that I think we can build our slogan better, country living at its best, to be something along the lines of healthy country living at its best. I think the township and a country living style is something that really leads the way we're all meant to live. And I think this whole township could be made a little bit of work, a little bit of research, a little bit of feedback from the residents into a healthy place to live for all of us, for ourselves, for our children, and for their children. One of my, I'm a retired professional engineer. I worked on a campsite, building roadways and sewer projects as a student. Interested in that. That's kind of what the mainstay is of the township here. I spent 34 years working for the federal government in the environmental health field, including managing federal ferry wards, developing contracts for environmental health projects, serving as Canada's representative on renewable energy projects with the International Energy Agency. I was a national manager of Canada's R2000 home program, which was set to build energy efficient healthy homes all across Canada. We really have become like the mainstay of how houses are built today. I was the environment director for Canadian Coast Guard, looking after all the environmental issues that the Canadian Coast Guard had to deal with. I was also a project leader for a very interesting project introducing employee health and promoting employee health for Fisheries and Oceans Canada, Department of over 10,000 employees. The mission was well received in employee health. I ran for the Green Party in 2 federal elections, coming third ahead of the NDP in the second try. Kind of proud of them. I worked as a volunteer co-chair with a group called Prevent Cancer Now, a national nonprofit organization dedicated to preventing cancer, not just treating it. I currently work as a volunteer with Sheriff of Canada and Friends of the Earth, charities aimed at preserving our environment and our health. In that capacity, I recently did a project to measure and report on air pollution across the city of Ottawa. It turns out that air pollution is a real concern, and those of you who don't know, about 15,000 people die every year from air pollution in Canada. That's according to Health Canada. As a councillor, I think I can help the township because I'm concerned about the potential new zoning requirements. I think we need to be careful about how that happens. I think I can work well with others to build on what we have in common. I've learned some useful things about how I can enjoy long, healthy lives. I think I can help develop this township into a model of healthy living. Look forward to the opportunity to speak with you all later. Thank you.
Evening, everyone. For the benefit of anybody that doesn't know me personally or know of me, I'm Pat Bowen. I live in the township of Montague, and for the past 50 years. During that time, I've seen the township build and expand with residential and some commercial outlets, and I'd like to see that continue. Having been a competitor in the latest municipal election and being short by a few votes, I, now be able to fill the position of the council seat. I served as background information, I served as a member of the Smith Falls Police Service for 36 years, progressing through promotions to the position of deputy chief, in which capacity I served for 10 years prior to retirement. In that capacity, I was involved in the development of strategic plans, drafting and analyzation of information pertaining to technologies, demographics, traffic patterns. I participated in the preparation and monitoring of capital and operational budgets, as well as monitored all aspects of our human resources, staff, including recruiting, training, compensation, and salary administration. During that capacity as in my training, I received training in the area of executive development, strategic planning, budget and financial management, and emergency preparedness, all of which I feel will serve me in good stead as a council member when we are looking at developing and moving forward the township to attract more residential builders and commercial property and developments. And as far as the community contributions are concerned, I've been a member of Montague District and Senior Citizens for Deputy Alcohol for 14 years. As a former member of the Montague Volunteer Fire Department, having served in that capacity for 29 years. And again, in 2010 to 2014, was previous experience in the position of deputy brief for the township of Montague, which allowed me to develop the understanding and workability with our well-qualified staff and moving our projects forward in the community. And I currently volunteer at Montague Recreational Club at community events when they are short-handed and need additional resources. And I have taken training and professional membership in the Ontario Municipal Management Institute. And I've been certified as a municipal manager at level 3 after 3 years of education training by the Municipal Management Institute. I have life membership in the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, and I have life membership in the Association of Canadian Police Association. In preparation for the interview process, I've been reading township documents to get an overview of what's taking place in the coming year and the development of our community moving forward. And I'm pleased to see that in the 24 budget, there are funds set aside for the development of the 22-acre recreational property next to the public school on Rosedale Road. That was purchased a number of years ago by a committee of the township of Montague, of which I was part of. And the benefit of that is I should be able to develop a safe environment for the citizens to play and exercise. I want to see the plans for the new public works and fire hall building proceed, and so far the staff have made great progress in getting that project started and ready for completion. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brian Ditz. Before I start, I'd like to thank everybody here at the table. It's very refreshing to see these many residents take an honest opinion, try to help out and care about how their municipality is moving forward. So whoever gets the job, way to go. Nice to see all the support. I've lived in Montague for about 24 years. I have children, my grandchildren that live there. And, I don't know much about politics, but I have been a member of the Committee of Adjustment for the last 3 terms, and I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of the members on the council now. And, really appreciate learning from them and moving forward. My career was print media. I'm actually a graphic artist by design, but I can run any kind of printing press there is out there, now on computer now. There's no more printing presses, so. I did that for 32 years for the Sun Media Chain. So, used to working as a team with the Daily Deadline. So I'm hoping that, I get a shot here to work with this great team. They've done a lot of good work so far in the first part of their term. So, you know, take a shot. What I, bring to the table is I really am a team player. I handle direction and I don't mind helping out, and I just recently retired not too long ago. That's why I stepped up. Not that I don't like doing my honey-do list, but I've got it down pretty pat now, so I think I can branch out and start volunteering and helping with some of the committees, and whether it's canvassing, whether it's knocking on doors, whether it's just selling tickets at a booth. You know, when we have a function going on throughout the crowd. So that's why, I'm gonna throw my hat in the race, although it's not really a race. I feel bad for our existing council being down one person, but some straight work already into the term, and then to be one person down is kind of like having an injury playing on the sports team. You know, everybody's gotta pick up the extra, so I'm hoping that they, one of us here can help contribute to that, so. Now let me think, I have 5 minutes to go here. I think, having worked with these people already, and the ladies in the office too, so I think I'd be a perfect fit for Montague. I'm born and raised in the big city, can't stand it, I love Montague. We own a home here, and we plan on dying here, so, but just not too soon. So if there's anything I can do to help, I would like to. So I don't know much about politics, I'm a quick learner. And, very open-minded. You have to be in this day and age, we're not getting anything from the federal government or the province or the county. That other town that's not part of the county that borders us, they're not much use either. So we'll have to do it all ourselves moving forward, because our children, their children coming after that, that's what we have to keep in mind. We're all older now, but we have to make sure that Montague is moving in the right direction. And we have to do it ourselves as residents, as taxpayers, as councilors, as staff. But I think we can do it. All we have to do is be honest and open and give it a shot. So, I hope that I have a shot at this, but even if not, I'm willing to help. If we can get more people from the community coming out and helping too, we're making the municipality's job a lot easier, so, okay? Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Trevor Johnson, and I guess I'm the newest person at this table. My wife Patty and I moved in here about 3 years ago. We currently live on Birchill Road in the East End Township. A little bit of local background. My wife and I own the bakery in Merivale, Waddington, Maine. I'm the president of the Merivale Wolford Chamber of Commerce, which has afforded me the opportunity to build some relationships with local businesses, but also more importantly, the local municipal governments, whether it's the county or the township in Merivale. I'm also a member of the Merivale Lions, which has been a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot more people through those type of service organizations. You get to do a lot for the general public, so I really enjoy that. I'm also the chairman of the St. Patrick's Home Foundation in Ottawa. And our mission statement is to raise money for the St. Patrick's Home. And it's really an opportunity to give back to the community, especially for people that really need a better quality of life at the end of the day. A little bit of my background prior to retirement, because I retired to come out here and buy a bakery, which I'm not sure how that went. But for 20 years, I was air traffic controller in Vancouver. I got into management and ultimately retired about 2.5 years ago as the Vice President of Operations for NAV Canada. I believe that with my management experience and the local experience I've gotten through the chamber and other relationships in the last while, I think that I have a broad skill set that will help the council and really be part of the team. I have a lot of operational experience, a lot of budgeting experience in finance, also have a lot of labor relations experience as I was a member of the bargaining team with NAV Canada for many years. I just think that if it's good to always have a diverse group as your council members, and I think that perhaps a newer viewpoint, a new person on council that hasn't been here for a long time might be beneficial. I really love the area. The reason I wanted to get involved was when we retired, we wanted to be part of a community. And we could afford that ability in Merrickville over. And we realized that we actually lived in on the other side of the river. So when this opportunity came up, I thought I would really jump in with both feet. And I really think that I have a skill set to be helpful to the council. I'm a good team player, been a team player for a long, long time. And I just look forward to serving the community. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you to council and staff for making this presentation possible. My name is Margaret Kubiszewski, and you can just call me Maggie. I'm applying for the vacant council seat. Many of you will recognize my name from Montague Talks page, or as being a member of the Montague Recreation and Cultural Committee. On the Talks page, I do make a lot of posts, as well as use the page to promote events we are having. I usually post reminders of meetings, events, pictures of our events. I answer questions if I know, and if I'm not sure, post where you can get the answer. I use that page to hear what people are concerned about and what people are thinking about. I also like to start conversations to get people involved, find out what bothers them, and what they would like to see happening in our community. As I mentioned in my qualifications page, I have never run for or served on council. But I did spend 5 years over 2 councils as a volunteer in the Montague Recreation Committee. I am very proud of the things that we did, that we accomplished as that group. When COVID put everything on hold, I came up with the idea of dispensing Canadian flags to every home in Montague. After a few speed bumps, council approved the idea, and we made a plan on how to do this, which included every member of the committee, as well as almost every member of council. After residents heard what we were doing through our Zoom meetings, some even called me to offer support and their time. Norma Ford was the first to contact me. She offered to help print the tags to attach to the flags, and she even got on her scooter and delivered flags to every house on her road. Another resident took her kids in the wagon and covered their street. It gave everyone such a sense of community. And when driving around the township on Canada Day, it gave us such a sense of pride to see those flags attached to mailboxes, fences, houses all over the township. Later in the year, we found out that we could not have our usual breakfast with Santa, which was a yearly tradition for Montague. But since we could not bring the kids to Santa, we brought Santa to the kids with the first Santa Claus parade, which is still happening today. In the spring of the next year, things have begun to be allowed again, and I suggested that we have a breakfast with the Easter Bunny. I drove to every corner of this township with a 5-foot white bunny in my car, taking pictures to put online to get people out. The school sent home flyers for us with the students to attract as many people as possible. And the morning of that breakfast, we had people lined up to the road. This is another event that still happens today and still attracts hundreds of residents. I mention these events to emphasize that when I commit to something, I give it my all. I will give the same commitment to council and to the residents of Montague. I was pleasantly surprised to see so many applicants sign up for this one spot on council. I hope this trend continues in the next election. Excuse me. So what have I done in the last 5 years? I've organized and or participated in the restoration of Rosedale Hall, the installation of the children's playground, the flag distribution to Canada Day festivities at the Citizen Club and Rosedale Hall, the Santa Claus Parade, breakfast with the Easter Bunny, the Mighty Machines event at the airport, and I have represented and promoted our township at public events, including the Lanark Plow Match, 2 Lanark County Harvest Festivals, and the Rural Recreation Association. All these events, plus having a business in Montague for over 30 years and being such an active member of Montague Talks, has given me the opportunity to meet and speak to many residents. I feel I know what they care about and what bothers them. I'm not afraid to speak my mind or give my opinion. I'm a problem solver, I'm a great negotiator, and I can think outside the box. I will make a great counselor. Thank you.
Reed Jennings, Deputy Reed Carroll, and council members and members of the public. My name is Tom May. I live at 462 Roger Stevens Drive in Smith Falls. With my wife, and we have been there for 22 years. I'm running for the seat on council to represent the best interests of the public and to consider the well-being and the interests of Montague Township. I want to see the township get our new fire hall and public works building built to meet the township's base requirements for the next 20 years. There is not enough room in either building now for the requirements for the public works or the fire department. I feel that my past experiences will help me do the job. I am an electrical construction supervisor for Ontario Hydro and Burlington Nuclear Generating Station. I have been a certified co-chair of health and safety committees for Eastern Ontario for Hydro 1 station construction. These jobs have given me the knowledge and experience to work with people and deal with their concerns. I have been a volunteer for the Township of Montague for the past 20 years. I've also attended most public council meetings for the past 20 years, giving me a very good working knowledge of the operations of the township and the outstanding concerns of some of the residents. Some of these concerns that are still outstanding are the Andersville Bridge, the high water rates from Smith Falls. I do not promise that I can fix either of these, but support council in trying to resolve these concerns. I am presently a volunteer for the Township of Montague on Providence Standards Committee. I have been on this committee for the past 20 years. Committee of Adjustment, where I've been the chair, also the Committee of Adjustment, where I've been the chair for both of these committees in the past. And I'm also on the fence bureaus for the township. When the township had a roads committee, I was on it as well. At present, I'm on the board of directors of the Montague District Forget-Me-Not Seniors Club and hold the position of treasurer for the club. I also attend weekly functions of the club. These are the Eucharist every Friday night and a social hour on Wednesday mornings. If appointed, I will declare a conflict of interest on any matters pertaining to the club. I have worked with the township clerk administrator as the main contact person for the Montague District Forget-Me-Not Seniors Club on many social events for seniors in the township and the seniors of our club. I will admit I'm not the best public speaker, but I know I can do the job as a council member. I will listen to any suggestions or complaints and look after the best interest of the people of Montague Township while considering the well-being and the interest of Montague Township. Reed Jennings and Deputy Reed Carroll, council members, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity of being able to submit my name as a possible council member for the remainder of the term of this council. I have stated my position as why I would make a good asset to your council. That includes the fact that I attended most public council meetings for the past 20 years. I started going to council meetings to find out where my tax dollars were going and where they were being spent. This has given me a good working knowledge of all the current and past decisions of council. As council knows by my questions and my comments that I have made over the years, that I have an interest in our township, not just what affects me personally. I am a volunteer for some of the council's committees and have been for the past 20 years. I know I can work effectively with all council members, and the township staff, and the public in a professional manner to fill this job as your councilor. Thank you.
Good evening, Ray. Okay. Good evening, Reed and council members. I'm pleased to be here tonight. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm putting my name forward to fill the current council vacancy because I know I can make a difference in and see Montague grow. I've been involved in as a resident of Montague for more than 40 years with my wife Lee and 2 children. We ran Green Acres Greenhouse for 34 years, employing 27 employees. Recently, my son took over the business and we have moved to St. Paul's. I continue to be very involved in Green Acres, so supporting my son as a young entrepreneur and keeping Green Acres going, which has been going for numerous years. Basically working as a silent partner. I have the time to dedicate to Montague as I am semi-retired. I've been involved in Montague Council as a member of Lanark County Council and Lanark County Council for over 8 years. As a member of Montague Council, I would like to make a difference by encouraging people to move to Montague. I believe that could be accomplished through a builder's forum. I have knowledge that would be helpful in community gardens and the family garden. I can help with the 22 acres of land through my past business experience. My plan is to help keep taxes in check. These are tough times for people, and I feel I can educate the residents on what taxes are and how we spend the tax dollars. I'm dedicated to encouraging people to move to Montague and have a pride in Montague. I will make no promises I can't keep and consider the long-term impact on our decisions. I would encourage the youth of Montague to get involved with the township. If I'm selected, I will be willing to serve on the Rio Valley Conservation Committee, which I do have some experience in, having been on the Rio corridor. My past experience in Montague Council, I have 8 years as deputy lead and chair of 3 committees on Lanark County Council. As a member of these committees over my lifetime, both as a member and as a chair, I've gained valuable knowledge and connections through the committees. They include 11 years on the council board during the duration of construction, which I chaired the building committee for the St. Paul's Hospital site. And I was 35 years with Boy Scouts, which I was selected to attend the World Jamboree a number of years ago in my native country. Some of the highlights I'd like to mention, number one, of course, is my experience, vast experience in many areas of the council and municipal government. The project I would like to work on, if selected as the council, is the pollinator garden. I have experience in that. I know what needs to be put in the pollinator garden to make it successful. The 22 acres, I can help on that, on hopefully maybe working with construction firms on what the 22 acres should look like as a recreational facility, which I do have experience in. Some of the council projects that we work on now is a new building and the garage. There again, I have experience with because of being on the hospital board for the building of the new hospital site in St. Paul's. The road stage study, which I understand is now turned over to a new company. I worked on that when I was on council in the past. Some of the past projects that I was successful working on was the electronic sign that's out in front of the township. The Economic Development Committee is where I started with Montague, was one of our projects. The Rainbow Valley Drive, there are 5 new homes there, which I worked diligently with the township and with the county planning committee and with the developer himself to make these lots available. And some $1 million homes are built there now, adding a significant amount of tax to the Montague Township. While on county council, I lobbied extremely hard in order for the ambulance base to be located in Montague Township. This was a tough battle, but it was finally put there, and Montague has reaped the benefits from that. Some of the personal things that I was involved in when I was on council was the appreciation night / Christmas party that I went out to several businesses and obtained door prizes for just about almost every person that was attending. I felt this was very important to do because the volunteers come to this appreciation night, do really appreciate the fact that they've got a chance to go home with a prize. And we had a massive grand prize, which I managed to retain through a donation from one of our suppliers. And we were able to also collect enough dollars to send some money to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. One of the other personal things that I've done in the past, and that's provide front entrance displays for summer, winter, and holiday season displays in front of the township office. This may not be important, but I did that. Thank you.
Thank you all for those introductions. So now we will move on to part 2, which will have council asking individual questions to each member in front of them this evening. So council, would you like to go one question at a time in order? And then we'll come back around for your second question. Okay, so I will leave it up to council to proceed with their questions.
Thank you. So my first question, I'm going to start in this order. Maggie first, then Tom, then Jack, then Brian, then Trevor. And my first question is, why did you not run in the municipal election in 2022, but chose now to seek a seat on council? And if council had chosen a by-election, would you still have run?
First. Okay, I did not run in 2022, my husband ran, I didn't feel that I should run against him. I was also very active on the rec committee at that time, and the rec committee was my love. I love everything about the rec committee. If you had had a by-election, yes, I would have ran. Thank you.
No, I had not run in the election before. And if you have a by-election, yes, I would have run in it. And the reason is that you are now a council member, and I'd like to see the building of the garage and the fire hall get built, and not by a new member of the council that puts in a lot of questions and a lot of surveys and studies want to done and delaying it any longer. I think it done as soon as possible.
There's one question. I'll have a run to then she said, request their same thing. In terms of running in my election, sure, I'm really good. Trying to realize where we can. And then that covers your question.
Hi, I did not run in 2022. I was still working, but I actually was off on medical leave due to back surgery. So, but having been retired now for a bit, yes, I would have put my name in the hat after that election.
Hi, I couldn't run in 20, because I'm just moving here, so I wouldn't have been allowed to. But I would have run for sure. The more that I've got involved, start asking questions and driving around the township in the last little while, I would have put my name. I think it's an excellent township. Nick Montague has a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of people moving here right now, and I think, yeah, I'd like to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thanks very much for your answers. So my first question, I guess I'll give you an order, so I guess I'll just start with clause down the end and just kind of work our way back, if that's okay. So my question is age diversity. is important for a healthy community. As many of us plan to age in our homes, how can we support our residents as they age? And how do you think we can encourage our youth to stay in our community when they begin their working lives? And how do we encourage young families to also move here?
Thank you. Great, excellent question. To encourage families to move here, I think we have to come up with a scheme as to where our lots are that are available. There are some actually scenic lots and so forth. We have to advertise that we have a recreational spot in 22 acres that we're working on. We have to advertise that we're building a new firewall for better protection, and that is important. And I think we also have to indicate that the surrounding areas is what is available for families within our, not necessarily our township, but our surrounding townships. We need to have a collaborative working agreement with surrounding townships, so people have the opportunity that, say, Maryville has the beautiful stores, Smith Falls has an arena for recreation purposes. We have to let people know that, okay? For seniors to stay in the township, if we could convince a developer to build senior complexes that are easy for seniors to live in, because there are more and more of those being built all the time, I think that would be an excellent idea. And I know it's complicated because of our township with septic system and so forth, but it's something I think we should take a look at, encouraging builders to build some kind of a seniors complex for seniors to stay in Monaco Township. As somebody else mentioned, it's a beautiful township, and it has open air, clean air, breathing areas, and so on, and scenic areas and that.
Yeah, I bet to help getting more people into the township by the new bylaw that you passed where you can put 3 buildings on the same property, provided it's big enough and whatnot. That will encourage a lot more people to build into the township, and your younger people, generations, to build on their family's property and stay in the community. And I think the seniors, we have good seniors home across the road. We do stop quite often. We have weekly news over there. And I think that we support our seniors a lot more through our club. And the township now has, last year, we had a lot of things by Ally getting together. We had a boat trip and things for seniors to do and seniors to get out and get active. And they had in the hall here, through the grant that the township got for the seniors, they had exercise classes, chair yoga, things like that. And it's helping the seniors to stay in the community, I believe. And the more we do it, the more seniors are gonna stay here. Thank you.
Hi, so keeping seniors in the community, I think the hardest thing that seniors have right now is taxes. They're on a limited income and our taxes keep going up. And taxes don't need to go up. The tax base has to go up. We need to attract people to this community. We need to attract businesses to this community. We have a business park out on Highway 15. I don't think anything's been done with it in maybe the 30 years I've been here. We have to be able to attract businesses and by that, give jobs to our younger people. They can only get jobs in Ottawa, Brockville, Carton Place. For the seniors here, the seniors group across the road does a fantastic job to keep them busy. Council over the last year has given them opportunities to go places. The bus ride, block CDs, go down with the boat. Those are great things to keep them healthy and active. And I do like the new bylaws that are coming in, that are going to allow smaller homes and more homes on a lot, so the kids can move in and with their parents, not in the same house. I think that business, and I'm really looking forward to the new economic development committee that they were talking about a couple of meetings ago. I think that will go a long way to bring businesses into. Thank you.
Now, with regard to the seniors, I think really, you have to have a lot of services, but not just the services, but the access to the services. A lot of times, seniors just can't get to the events, they can't get to the places where they need to go. So if we could do something a little bit more along those lines, when it comes to trying to keep our young people here, I think that's already happening right now. Now that you don't have to go to downtown Ottawa to work, you can work remotely, you need better Wi-Fi access, would be nice. But I think that if we can market ourselves, change a little bit of how we develop our areas with lot sizes, things like that, and make it affordable for the younger professionals that are moving into this area now. I know through the bakery that we own, we see a lot of the young families that come in the area. So there are a lot that are moving here. It's a matter of the elementary schools, what can they do for us? And again, more of that sort of thing where how do we get them to want to go to all of these activities? How do we get there? You can't just be in Smith Falls, you can't just be in Kemptville or Merrickville. We need to have our own activity centers here so we can get everybody into our own activity centers and keep everybody local.
One of the points, people, as far as the seniors go, I agree, accessibility, that's one big thing. Do we have any local healthcare or PSW type of places like that that can provide help for our seniors, council? Anybody work locally here? You do?
PSW,
Yeah, you're,
I work in Montague.
okay, but you're the business,
I'm sorry?
you're the entire business?
No, I work for a company from Montague. Sweater Gang Companions.
Nice, yeah, so is my dog. Okay, that's it, that's what we need. We also need affordable daycare. We want to bring families in, we should maybe look at setting up, bringing in some new daycare people. Can't tell what to go at $10 a day. That's not gonna happen, so. Yeah, I think we just need affordable housing. Moderate taxes, I can't say you can't tax, you can't raise taxes, because obviously it's gonna happen. If we can keep it in check, that's good. That's all bad, we give it a shot.
So shot, pretty well beat up and then being repeated, but I think the desire to have young people move here, we have to be proactive in advertising the ability for the township to be able to serve them with the development of the recreational property so that they have places to take their children and entertain them and keep them safe. The seniors, we need to have obviously the seniors come across the road and good correspondence with them. And as far as the affordability and maintaining low taxes, I think our previous council and previous staff have been very cognizant of the fact of the cost of increased taxes and the cost of living and to maintaining, when you look at the current budget aspect, maintaining a reasonably low tax increase to be able to manage and operate the township in a cost-effective, efficient, and friendly way, because we have close proximity to the seniors receiving the mobile help and assistance from Bayshore Health Clinic, who have nurses that travel out and look after people in need, and seniors in their own personal homes, if that's a requirement. So I think we need to maintain a steady stream of information to the public at large and encourage them to not only locate here, but ask them to have encourage them to have their family members consider relocating here to add a closer circle for circulation and safety.
I think the question really is what would make people of any age want to stay in this township and come here. And I've had like this, tossed around with my, at least my local community where, which is to try to become more healthy. The Ontario government has a Ontario Health Survey. I think several years, it's about trying to see what it takes to make people healthier. We seem to have a health system in Ontario and Canada that basically says, when you get sick, we'll look after you, instead of saying, let's get healthy, and then you won't get sick. And there are ways to do that. There's a number of different ways that people can educate themselves to eat better, to live better, to exercise more in a way that's going to perfect your body as opposed to in terms of keeping it safe, keeping it working, not working. And I think there's ways we can do that, and certainly when those on council are pushing to have Ontario government say, we want Ontario to sponsor Ontario Township to become the healthiest place to live. In terms of seniors and how they're going to stay here, as far as I'm concerned, let them stay at home. I don't think people want when they get to be unable to look after themselves, want to leave and go into an institution, they'd rather stay at home. And I think it's the answer to keeping seniors here for as long as they want.
My question is going to be for every candidate, even though a couple of you might have answered part of this question. How do you feel about moving ahead with the 22 acres for recreation? And on our Roger Stevens property, the fire and public works new builds?
Well, given my background as an environmental engineer and knowing that I do buildings, making them energy efficient and healthy, I would want to ensure that anything that's being built is built with safety in mind, with health in mind, and with longevity in mind. So that would be my part of this new location. In terms of the recreation side, I think that is just a gold line to work with that property. And to make it into something really, really special that all of us could enjoy and people come and visit us could enjoy, I think would be a real just a benefit for the organization, but it will starve from the township. I've got some pretty good experience in what it takes to build energy efficient housing and energy efficient buildings and environmentally safe and healthy. So helping you on that one, whether when your council members are not, I have to do so.
In regards to the recreational 22-acre property, I was really pleased to see that the current budget has designated a sum of money to start to improve that piece of property that was purchased during the 2010-2014 council term of office, as I was part of the committee that negotiated with the school board to obtain that property for the recreational purposes. I am also aware that the township has now amended fences with the school board, and they are prepared to start to repair some damage that's been done previously to the accident soccer field that's adjacent and behind the school. And I think the commitment by the township to make walking trails, sliding hills, and of course, the major thing I'm concerned to the school was the driveway and the parking space for people to park separate from the school property for use of the soccer fields. So I think the big draw there would be to start with the process we have now, get it laid out, and solicit from the community improvements they want to see where they, once they see that we're moving on the recreational property, try to keep expenses and taxes as low as possible, but efficiently getting the work done on the recreational property.
I agree with that there. I think the sooner we put the shovel in the ground and start doing something with the 22 acres, that'll be great. And not only that, you asked one of the previous questions about bringing families in. That would be a big selling point for families with children. More than we've got a facility that can help them. And as far as the fire department and the public works, I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever about our public works or our firefighters. They do a great job, and if they need better, more space, better equipment, I'm all for
Recreational property is the perfect example and answer to what we've asked. If you want the young people and their families to stay, they have to have recreational property to play on, safe recreational property. Also, if you want seniors to be healthy and also stay here, walking trails, all that kind of thing too. So I think we can answer both your questions there, Deputy Reed. With that, as far as the infrastructure, I think that every building needs, it eventually gets to the end of its shelf life. And as the municipality grows, you have to have bigger and you need more room, and I would be all for advancing that project.
The 22 acres was at school. I was on the rec committee when we discussed different ways to do that. There was lots of great ideas, lots of different things we could do with it. And eventually, I would like to see some kind of recreational concert facilities in that area. The public works building needs to be done first. You cannot have those expensive trucks sitting out in the elements because there's no room in the garage for them. You can't have a fire truck that just barely fits in. And I think that this has been going on for so long, this public works building, it really needs to be settled and started and get a shovel in the ground. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the 22 acres, the way the staff has presented to council at some of the meetings, they want to start doing the work, but they don't want to spend all our tax dollars on it. They're looking for grants, and as we can get grants for the township, spend that grant money on the 22 acres, starting out small and making plans and get it going, and then get access to the soccer field next door, which the township spent a lot of money on that. We had a grant, we spent a lot of money on it, and it's all school property. And to my knowledge, no one's played soccer on it since it was built. But anyway, the garage and the fire hall, they are buildings we need now. We needed it a few years ago. The new fire truck that's on order will not fit in the old building. The old fire truck we have, it just backs up to the electrical panel, unsafe the way it has been for years. It definitely needs to be repaired by building the new building. And the garage, they don't have enough room there to do work properly on the trucks, keep it indoors. I see they have a new well up there because they didn't have enough water there to, if they were washing the trucks out of the garage, there wasn't enough water to flush the toilets in the building, so we definitely have to get it done and done soon. Thank you.
Thank you. In regards to the 22 acres, I mentioned that in my address, that's an area that I feel like will certainly help an awful lot. In my experience as in the landscaping business, I think over the 22 acres, families are looking for small recreational activities to attend. They don't want to have to drive to the city for events and recreational things. And we could develop the 22 acres with some small recreational ideas to start with, walking trails, environmental studies, things that can be done there. The school, I know, has been there a couple times, some classes for environmental studies. So the 22 acres has a huge potential to start with. The soccer field, it's been a bone contention for years, and I feel we need to get that moving as soon as possible because there's a lot of youth around that are looking to play soccer. Smith Hall soccer field is full all the time, so our soccer field is certainly in demand. With the township facilities, I was on council when this first started, and it was brought up as a health and safety issue. Very much a health and safety issue, and we need to move forward on it. And as mentioned before, I know that our staff is excellent in getting government grants and that. And once the residents of the township see us moving forward with new buildings and that we're progressing, I think our image will go up a couple of notches in the public. Outside people looking at us and see that we've developed new facilities, a new garage, a new fire hall for their protection. they'll say that township is moving forward by improving their properties. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. My first question, teamwork and collaboration is an important aspect to being successful, and advancing forward, especially in small communities such as mine. This means when you do have, this means even when you do not agree on a decision, you do not go to social media and degrade and or humiliate one another. So the question is, how do you intend to work with staff and council and community partners, even if you do not agree on the same items, and still adhere to the code of conduct in the process? And can you give an example? We'll start with you, Klaus, because you have it.
Yeah, excellent question, Councillor Crabtree. As far as working together with other council members, been many times, we've been in discussions in the past, and in discussions with all the committees that belong to did not necessarily agree. But when the group makes the decision, and this is the way we're going to go, then I'm with the group. We are a team. There is no I in team. So individual comments and individual decisions cannot carry forward when you're a team. And it's a tough thing to be involved in because everyone has their own opinions in that. But you have to realize you're working together as a group, as a team. And I'll emphasize again, there is no I in team, and that's what I firmly believe. And I would work with any group on the decisions they make and make that decision work, move forward.
I had a little problem understanding the question because it was kind of awful. Could you
Sorry,
repeat the question?
Yeah, I'll use my outside voice.
Okay.
So the question thoroughly is, if you don't agree with council on a decision and let's say it goes through, would you be okay with not being able to discuss it? Because during the code, sorry, I'll read it exactly. This means even when you do not agree on a decision, you do not go to social media, degrade or humiliate one another. How do you intend to work with staff, council, and community partners, even if you do not agree on some items, and still adhere to the council code of conduct in the process? Can you give an example?
Yeah, I agree that if, once council has decided, and even if the decision is not what you were in favor of, once it's decided, you have to agree with it. And for an example, I have been on the health and safety committee, well, co-chair of the committee for Eastern Ontario for construction for Ontario Hydro, or Hydro One now. And lots of nights that are doing our annual plans, I did not agree with all the decisions. But when it came down and they decided that's what it was, that's what I had to go to teach all the crews. So it's the way it is. You once you agree to that is what the decision is, then you have to support it to the best of your knowledge and not downgrade anyone else just because you don't agree with them. It's what the group decided and you have to enforce it. Thank you.
And I was always taught, you can't say something, I still say anything at all. And that's exactly what I do. Anything that I put on social media, I don't think I've ever degraded anybody, and certainly if I haven't. Working with staff and council, I'm not gonna agree with you all the time. I'm gonna give my own opinion, and I'm gonna go with the majority. I may be wrong, I may be right, but I will go with the majority and work as a group. Once something is decided, I will commit to doing it that way then. Thank you.
For myself, you have to have a respectful work environment. It can be nothing else. When you're in a closed room and you're having your debate, it has to be respectful. Everyone gets their points out. But at the end of the day, the decision gets made. And once the decision is made, you carry that forward as a team. And that's just the way that you have to operate. As an example, my past life, we were going to close the facility. I disagree rather strongly that we should not close the facility for various reasons. But the majority said that yes, we were going to close it. And I was actually the one who went there and closed the unit. So as far as everyone was concerned, I was in full agreement at all times, and this is the way it was gonna be. So as long as you're respectful when you give your opinion, and you listen and actually hear what the other opinions are, I think you can.
I think there's a reason why many of these councils, associations have an odd number. It's because they take a vote and they talk it out, they decide everybody grants the vote. But the majority rules. If you can't live with that, then you shouldn't be involved with it. You can't always be right. Your opinion matters, but you have to decide with everybody else. And when it comes to social media or name calling Tim Hortons or something, that's just selfish. We're all adults here. You know, we just have to accept what it is. You know, and I don't need an example, because if you're doing that, you shouldn't be involved in politics or municipalities or any kind of program where it's volunteer. Okay?
In regards to rule of thumb, in the decision-making process, it's always the majority processes, the majority rule. You're entitled to the format of the meeting and the decision-making process to express your likes, dislikes, or support for the question that's being dealt with. But once the decision is made by the majority of the people at the table, if you're going to be a part of the organization and part of the team, you have to be prepared to accept that and live with it, not to go on the internet and criticize decisions of the team that you've been working with because you're not happy. There's just too much interfacing on the internet, criticizing people and processes that don't need to happen. If you're going to be part of the team, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you have to be prepared to accept that as part of belonging to the organization and moving the subject or the program forward. In spite of the fact that you're unhappy with it, you still have to be strongly supportive and do what you have to do to make sure the program goes ahead successfully.
I'll go with example first. I've grown up over the years in sports and teams, and we talk often faced with elements by someone that's say this play will work in this football game, no, this will not. It's pretty good to have a rule that basically says, which we always used to have, you said you argue your head off, and just get out and feel your own team, you went that way. So that's really common sense approach to anything like this. You see, one thing I would add to that is whenever you have a situation where there is an issue, do your research so that if you do have a tablet or something else you want to push that goes against what other people say, make sure you know what you're talking about and can present the facts to them. Once the decision is made, we all go with it. It has to work that way, and it doesn't work at all.
So for all members of council that are running, please name 3 qualities a council member should have. We'll start with Jack and work our way down.
Did everybody hear? Did everybody hear that question? That was pretty quiet. So the question was, name 3 qualities that a council member should have.
Be someone that doesn't need to sleep. Seriously, be someone who can really look at different sides of a situation and see what other people are saying about it and understand what they're saying and try to make some common. That's all. And I've heard about regulation, some of the members, but I know from talking about it, we're getting from it. You're all a team, you work that way, and you really can find work together. That seems like a pretty straightforward way to make sure that the council work well, and you're going to be happy.
I think some of the qualities the council member should have is if you're committed to being a member of the group, You should be prepared to listen to all the points of view of the other members, accept their points of views, express your own objections to it. You should be supportive, you should be strong in your delivery of your understanding of the question. And if you don't understand the process, ask for explanations, research, look for ways to come up with a solution or an alternate suggestion to what the overall picture or the overall program the council wants to move forward. To do that collectively and understand the purpose of the project start.
Three qualities. How about respect, honesty, and forward thinking?
I think honesty in your opinions, integrity in your actions, and then I think you have to be open-minded. You have to listen to what everybody says before you make your decision.
To be a little repetitive, you have to be a good listener. I think you have to be a good negotiator. And you don't have to be right, but you have to be fair.
I think you have to have the ability to listen, you have to have the ability to explain your side of the discussion, and do your research before you make a final decision.
Thank you. I think you have to be an excellent listener, be able to communicate your ideas to the public in a reasonable manner, and be dedicated to the job. There is a lot of extra work and so forth, but dedication is one of the key factors that the council has to have.
You guys are, I'm just on a side note, you guys are doing a really good job. You didn't make this easy at all, so so very good candidates up here. I think everybody can really acknowledge that. So, my next question, and I'm gonna start with Maggie and work my way this way, and then I'll finish it off with Tom and Claus. What will be your top, and most of these have already been answered, so I'm really kind of curious where the top three will land, but what will be your top three priorities over the next 2 years until the next election of the township?
I think the first priority, it kind of depends the time of year, because I'm thinking roads right now. I've seen some pictures of people on the side roads, Pinery, and I don't know how they drive their car down that road. It's just total potholes. I know we have a roads study, but maybe it has to be looked at more often, or maybe we have to bring back the roads committee. Because if you've got one car driving down it, it's not too bad. If you've got 100, I don't know how those people drive down it. The public works building is a big one for me, because it's just been going on so long. And those trucks, we're just waiting. I mean, they're out in the elements. They can't even fit in the garage half the time. The third one would probably be taxes and fees. I know there's some taxes that we have no control over, county taxes, school taxes. But we can, if we can increase our tax base, we can keep our taxes at least down to a minimum. Fees have been talked a lot lately about. The last meeting, there was fees on, I believe it was, parks or something. The fees went up 100%. I don't agree with that. Fees should not go up 100%. And fees should not be based on what the surrounding area is charging. It should be based on what our community needs those fees for. And if they do have to go up a lot, then put them up in increments. Don't give somebody 100% increase. That's way too much as far as I'm concerned.
Three, I think, definitely road maintenance and dust suppression would be a big thing on Birchville Road, that's for sure, and perhaps Richardson also, which I drive down a great deal. I think the facility changes, the upgrades, new buildings, I think that has to be a priority. And also, I think economic development would be where I'd like to look at, and one of the things is the aerodrome. A lot of times in my past life, to a lot of smaller aerodromes, they developed the land around them and actually rented out different facilities, built hangars and things like that. And they had work being done around the airport that had nothing to do with the airport, but brought in tax revenue. Those would be my top three.
I think my first priority would be the fire department and the public works. They do a great job, they save our lives sometimes, and they need to be safe and comfortable. So that's number one. Number two, I think is the 22 acres. Maybe we can't put the shovel in the ground. At least we can do some research and find out how we can seed and go forward. Bring what we're gonna bring in, what we're not going to, maybe get some designers, some engineers, to give us some guidance, some direction. And also, the roads are pretty bad. Thank God I don't go over to Jeff very often because he's horrible, horrible. So those would be my top three.
I agree with the, health and safety of our public works and fire department personnel, and we should work diligently to get the municipal complex rebuilt and utilized as soon as we can possibly afford it, and understand the plans that are there now working forward, in a progressive way. The other area I'd like to see is the recreational property being developed, and there's budgeted money now for that, so I look forward to seeing the progress start in a positive manner. And the other thing I'd like to see is the results of the roads needs study that's been ordered, and the recommendations, and hopefully be able to move forward with significant road repairs and restructuring as needed, particularly when you see the number of new houses being built on the side roads. And I just use the Pine Tree as an example of one investing in their properties there, and the tax revenue that's coming to the township as a result of that. I think it should be given bigger priority.
That's a great question. For me, it would be number one, what can we do in this township to make sure that the 4,000 or so people who live here are the healthiest people they can possibly be? As I mentioned earlier, I don't think we need to have a health system that basically doesn't bother with us until we're sick. I think we need to be able to strive to become healthier. There are definitely ways to do this. There's not a lot of magic in it. It's things like having a better diet. It's things about being rigorously, developing some sort of exercise regimen. It's being rigorous about how we build our community, how we build our houses. Start with, and then we don't have industry putting out fumes right where people are living, or we don't have things like electronic gadgets and devices that are actually doing harm to us, either in our buildings or in our homes. This is a little machine I have that can measure electron magnetic radiation and things like your cell phone, like your mobile stuff. It puts out electromagnetic radiation. You need to measure this stuff and find out if it is in fact making source. Don't shoot on it. Another thing is plastics. I'm not drinking this because I'm told that one of the worst ways to ingest plastics in our bodies is through these bottles. So there are things I think we can learn, and I would have to work with the Ontario Health Survey to see if we can look at how we can educate people in this township, 4,000 or so of us all, to become the healthiest they can possibly be. Second one for me would be to do some vital loads coming through. I think we need to be careful how that's done. I don't think people necessarily want to have a Beckwith sort of situation here with Montague. We've got a nice, really nice township here, just filling in lots of people may not be the best we're going to do it. And let's get on the good side of our MP, Scott Reed and John Jordan, our MPP. I think working with them, and I love.
Now, first thing I would consider that we top priority is get our new bridge and fire hall built and finish. No more stalling around on, which has not happened with this council, but over the past years, it has been kicked around and kicked around. Did they expand it? Did they do this? What do studies? Studies are all done. It's time to get the building built. The plans are out, they look good, and they've been not, especially fancy building, they're a quality, useful, practical building. The other two things that we need to get, I know our council has backed the Andersville Bridge issue. Our council has backed it, they take it to county is okay with it, if we get across the river, get on board. Because if there's a major fire down there, and that one road is blocked, it's dangerous for the people to live down in that area. It's something that's gotta be done. If we can't get a bridge, put a second road in, a second way out of that area. It's not good with one road like that on a hill. And then the water rates for the people that get water from Smith Falls, that has been going on for years. That is way too expensive. There's gotta be something that can be done. I know council in the past have tried, but there's gotta be something done, because that's like a second mortgage for those people. I don't know how they can afford to live there. That's my three priorities, I think. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. My priority would be to finish the township public works building and the fire hall. Those are health and safety issues and been worked on for a number of years. Secondly, the 22 acres, I think as a recreational thing is important. It's something that I can certainly assist in an awful lot in developing some plans there. I've got expertise and experience in that. The other thing I think will be a good priority is to get the builders forum event up and going again. I know a lot of builders expressed interest in building in Montague. It was something that didn't happen, of course, because of COVID. But I think if we get that going, we get some builders interested in building in Montague, we get some more people moved here and increase our population and our tax base. Thank you.
Next question here is, and it's for everybody, and we'll start with Councilor Black, I guess, since you're that time. What do you think is your best quality that you can bring to this council table?
I feel my best quality that I can bring to this council table is my experience, my dedication to the township. I've worked on several projects with the township and I've seen those completed. But again, I think my dedication, the time, I have the time, and my experience that I have gained on all the committees that I belong to, that I've worked with, either as a member or as a person, as a chairperson. Thank you.
I think mine is my dedication. I've been going to council meetings for 20 years, going not because I'm interested in getting something fixed on my road or out beside my property. I'm going there to see where the tax dollars are spent. And that is why I've been dedicated in going to most council meetings in the last 20 years. And I think that that's a good quality. I know what's going on with council. I'm aware of all the problems that keep coming up. When there's a delegation to council, I'm aware of what's going on because I've been at the council meeting and heard both sides of the argument. So, and I think that would make me a good asset to council because I can fit right in, because I know what's going on and I have the background knowledge of what's been happening. Thank you.
For me, I think it's probably my commitment. When I commit to something, I give it all I got. I can think outside of the box. I'm a very good negotiator and I can listen to people and hear what they actually want to say.
For myself, to be open-minded. I like to hear a lot of the different sides of every story. I like to hear everyone's opinions, and I want to be able to achieve a consensus, but keep that open mind until the final decision is made.
That's what I was going to say. But all I say no with being open-minded, I am a very good listener. I pay attention to what's being said.
And I think the quality and the ability to be a good listener and understand the process that's going on, to be able to work collectively as a team to get success and whatever the project is working towards. And I think the listening quality and understanding is an important prospect for us all.
I know it's not like I'm ready, and I'm not really not mean to do this, but my best quality, I think, is that I've taken a long time in my life to figure out what it takes to become healthier, to live longer, and live more productively, and more happy. And I think knowing that, part of that is I'd like to try to see if I can help other people live that same way. And I think that there are mechanisms out there to do that, certainly surveying all our residents here in the township and finding out how they are living, how they are eating, how they're exercising, and then coming back to them and saying, based on what you told us, here are ways that you do improve the health and the health of your children and anyone else that you deal with. I'm 74 years old. I don't take medications. I think I live a pretty healthy life and I exercise. I try to stay outdoors and try to live in a house that's healthy for me. I love that same sort of information that everyone else get and using the power of things like the Ontario survey, using the power of the internet to try to help people learn that one thing that they have brain is more quality to help attention and help people live.
So, Chair, if I might, can we potentially take a quick recess for anybody that needs to stretch, use the washroom, facilities? Thank you, everybody, for, taking that quick recess. We're, coming off recess at 7:35 with Counselor Crabtree's, the final question from council.
I'm gonna try this again, but apparently when I put a mic to my face, I don't talk very loud, so we'll try this one more time. My last question for everyone. Another topic that comes up in the community every so often is the change in our garbage and waste management. Where council and staff remove the requirements of tagging up to 2 garbage bags and or bins per week. And we increase the cost of garbage bags from $3 to $6 to achieve our legislative requirements to reduce waste in the municipality. If you have another suggestion, what would it have been?
Yeah, this whole idea of waste is one that I got involved in a couple of years ago, that level. The last scope of garbage. And to me, it had to be the worst idea that they possibly come up with garbage. Burn it, the air pollution that it produces, the waste that it produces, and then the idea that actually the more waste you produce, the more energy they produce by burning it, and the cloud of pollution. It's just to make a horror story. So certainly burning it is not the answer to the garbage situation. What I think the answer is again, going back to where the people who make the stuff that's going out of the garbage, they've got to be told to reduce the amount of material that they're putting into the products that they're selling us, so that we don't have to deal with the waste that they've actually created for us to have to deal with. So it's got to go back up the line to the producers. They are the ones that have to bear the brunt of this. The consumer at our end, we're just taking the stuff and trying to deal with it. We're not asking for that box, we're not asking for the big huge bag, we're just asking for the product. And somewhere back has to push in order for that. The consumer's not that literally holding the bag.
In regards to the increased cost for the disposal of garbage, my only concern is that with the increased cost of the tickets for the waste disposal, people that are marginal in their financial support are having difficulties. Well, if they're making lots of garbage, they'll start to use the road ditches and whatnot to dispose of the garbage versus paying the $6 for the tags. I'm not really sure how to best address that type of a problem, but I think we need to try to find ways to encourage people to recycle all the materials in their household garbage that's recyclable. And I agree with my neighbor here that we shouldn't encourage people to burn it to get rid of it, because it just causes potential fire problems for the township and next door neighbors and people. So I'm not sure how to resolve that issue, other than it's a difficult one for the people that have large disposal problems. A large family versus a small family are certainly going to have more waste to dispose of. Charge extra for it, I'm not sure, but I know my situation. I'm looking for the garbage bill. Garbage bill week to have it sent out, so I don't really have a suggestion as to how to encourage people to change their disposal habits.
That's a really tough question, Bill. I think if people would learn to recycle more, that might help. I think if people would compost more, that might help. As far as the cost, I'm not familiar with the budget. I don't know how much our 2 suppliers charge us. It's like anything else out there these days. It just keeps going up and up and up. So we have such a vast municipality. They use a lot of gas, a lot of manpower. So I don't have, be more prudent. Money's as tight as it says. Everybody says it is. Maybe there shouldn't be that much garbage in recycling, but how much money they can afford to eat. So So we'll just have to look at that.
I think the key to moving forward on that is increase recycling, increase composting, because what you want to do is reduce the 2 bags so that you never use that 3rd tag. So I think if we could do something along those lines, and I think a lot of it will be education. And having lived in Vancouver 20 years, which is the height of recycling, we used to have 3 or 4 different bins that we had to put things in, not just 1 or 2. And we had to separate everything as went along, and if you didn't separate it, it didn't get picked up. That's the way it was. So I think if we can increase our recycling, our composting, reduce those 2 bags to 1, I think that's probably the way forward. As far as the cost of the extra bag, I'm surprised it's not more. It was a lot more when I lived in Vancouver years ago. And it's only going to go up with that, but it has to be a bit of a deterrent, sadly, because otherwise you'll have 6 garbage bags on the front of your place, and then you'll fill up your landfill, and no one wants that.
I think 2 bags of garbage for the average family is fine. The biggest thing is recycling. I don't think a lot of people understand recycling, and they would understand how to do it, unless they've got kids that go to Montague School, because they've been doing a hang of a job figuring out recycling. And council has also helped with that. I don't think garbage will ever be settled. Everybody's gonna say it's too expensive, it's too much. I just don't wanna end up with people dumping garbage. I like the 2 big item pickups for people that can't get the couch or the bed or the fridge to the garbage. And I think that's a reasonable rate to charge for that too.
Yeah, I think the 2-bag garbage, I know when you're talking about going to 1 bag, that was really not sufficient, but the 2 bag, with the 2 bag is great. And I think the $6 charge, you have to put that in there. And I did suggest to the staff one day when I was in there, that anyone that comes in to buy new tags, you should have a little pamphlet set up, say, this is what you recycle, or you compost. And if you do that, you probably won't have more than 2 bags of garbage. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the 2-bag garbage system is good, and the cost of it is, the cost is a cost. I mean, these companies that pick up our garbage, they have costs, insurance, wages, and gas, and so forth. We have to educate people on recycling. The residents where I live, I look after the recycling program there, and I also look after the garbage. And it's not easy to train people of what goes where in the recycling and where the garbage is supposed to go. If people realize that they gotta do this, I think also food waste has become a huge problem. I see that an awful lot from what I look after. People have to be educated on composting if they can, and not to waste food that they're having. I mean, we all deal with cooking our meals and so forth, and I'm sure nobody in this room doesn't like leftovers. You'd be surprised what I see on leftovers.
Thank you, everyone. We will move on to part 3 of this evening, which is questions that were received from the public prior to 2 p.m. today. So I will pick them out of the box, read them one by one. We'll start alphabetical order from Jack and work down to Claus. The first question: with limited revenue to maintain roads and increase development, putting a strain on existing unpaved roads, what new ideas or longer-term strategies can you bring to the table that would help improve Montague's road infrastructure, safety, and livability?
Like litigation is running through this room, but at the same time, I do recognize the benefits of this type of technology in terms of people lost the roads and people not having to travel as much as they would normally travel. So there are some benefits in this technology that we have devices with the phones, with the internet. And my only concern there that it has to be used safely and current devices that we have, I think need to be much more shielded, much more slickly made than they are today. In terms of the roads themselves, it seems like our cars are getting bigger and heavier. Certainly electric cars are more heavy than the ones that they're replacing. I think we have to start looking at the size of our vehicles and see if we can get them to be tuned down a bit. And along that lines, this is when we have to start looking at the other levels of government and talking about MPs. They need to be involved in the process of dealing with that question. That's not so much the local thing as it is the national and at least provincial issue that we deal with.
In relation to the roads and the condition of the roads, I think the roads need study that's going to be completed in the near future from Montego Township. Should have looked, but I haven't been able to find the number of kilometers that we have in the way of gravel roads that still exist in the township. And I think we need to have a program where high traffic volume gravel roads in the area of new homes and stuff are given more treatment to keep down the dust and residue that flies off the road. But I think we need to develop a plan on a yearly basis to start to reduce our existing gravel roads by either tar and chip or more liquid calcium, and hopefully start to get some additional funding from the federal government and the provincial governments to upgrade our roads and the asphalt capability.
No, that's a great idea. Are there any programs out there through the county, through, I know it's not paying from someone else, and it all comes down to cost, right? Very, very, very expensive. So I'm not sure. What Pat said is great about taking the most active places where there's high traffic volumes. But as far as congestion, take the 22 acres and make a pavement, concrete place, and then we can do it ourselves.
So I'd like to better understand the rotation of parameters that are used when we're looking at which roads need to be done first. I'd also like to know what sort of ability we have to pave different ones using chip technology, whatever it is. How expensive is it, so that we can at least start to pave a few more roads to get the dust down. But the other thing is, we have to get people to slow down on the gravel roads. Because when people blow by my place at about 80 kilometers an hour and I listen to their trucks rattle, you're just making the roads worse and worse and worse. So perhaps an education package could help us with some of that, but it's a tough one to do because it's a lot of money to start paving all the roads. And which one is the priority, which one is not a priority. So it's a tough sled to try and pull. But I think if we can find a better rotation perhaps, and what our parameters are, how we set those, perhaps we can make it a little bit better in the interim.
So I know we have a roads budget, and a lot of that money has already been sent to certain places. But I think if we could bring back the roads committee that actually drove the roads and saw what condition they were in, and then decided which ones needed this before another one. If anybody's been watching the weather in northern Ontario, their roads are gone, like whatever budget they had is gone. And it's so weather related that, I don't know, I don't think we can do anything about the weather, but we can certainly do about the roads that are the most traveled and in the worst condition first. And I think the roads committee would really help that.
I think that when our past road superintendent was there, he did a study on, they do a study on all the traffic on all the roads in the township. So how much traffic is on each road. And a lot of our roads, we have different speed limits on a lot of the roads. We should standardize the speed limit And on the gravel roads, maybe we should drop the speed limit down, because some people from not in the township are cutting through the township across the gravel roads to get a shortcut going to Ottawa or whatnot. You lower the speed limit and then enforce the speed limit, that might help the roads a lot. And when they did the study on the roads, it is a lot more expensive to have tar and chip on a road than it is to have gravel. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And the only problem with being the last person asking questions, everybody should know my ideas. So I'll give it a shot. Our roads in our township, I feel, are excellent. We designed the road that lives outside of Sudbury. And when he comes down here and drives our roads, he thinks he's gone to heaven. Because their roads are worse than we can ever imagine. Our roads need study is our guideline, and I think we need to follow that. We do live in the country. Expect gravel roads, because it is country living in its best. Paved roads, we've paved all our roads, but then we ran into a problem with speed. Because now people think they're a 4-lane highway, and they can go as fast as they want. So it's kind of a no-win situation, but we must stay on top of maintaining the roads, gravel or paved on a continual basis.
Thank you all. Let's grab another question. And this will start with clause and work its way back. So if the township were to receive a donation of $1 million and it was up to council to decide how to spend it, how would you like to see it spent?
Hard time turning this thing off, I'm sorry. Receiving a donation of $1 million, I guess, would be excellent. Looks like someone must have won a major lottery to be able to do that. I think the first priority would be, as we talked about here many times tonight, and that is invest in the 22 acres. Recreation is going to be a number one thing that people look forward to when they're moving out into the country or in our township. Most people that do move out here right now, I do have families, some are retired, but the 22 acres would offer a great facility of recreation for all young people. So that's where I would put the $1 million.
If the township got $1 million, I think we should take the money, spend it on our new fire truck that we've got ordered. We've got some new dump trucks ordered, pay them all off, pay off any of the bills the township has. That would save a lot of money.
$1 million, I'm not sure is enough, but I would put the whole thing into the public works building and the new fire hall.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think that's the biggest ticket item we have. And I think you would have to put it forward with that and leave as little debt as we can as we go along.
Thanks, Trevor. Maybe I'm in exactly the same agreement. That's the most important thing, is the safety of our public works and our fire.
Well, to be repetitive, I was going to suggest that that's where the bulk of the money should be invested in, is in the fire department and public works branch for the health and safety of our employees and to try to keep the overall cost down, thereby hoping to be able to reduce taxes.
So this is already giving me a chance to push the person already several times here tonight. I would take it all and put it into a health promotion program so that every resident living here figure out what sort of health condition that they're in now, how they could improve it, and then be able to track their progress over a matter of years. It's a system that's already out there. Many countries use it. Certainly in the United States, there's things called health risk appraisals, health risk assessments, which people will fill out and they will be basically be able to take some blood samples perhaps as well and be able to have their health examined and then hope ways they can be given to improve their health following their lives. And this will apply to people who work and people who are in schools and people who are in the township.
Thank you. The third question. How how many council committees have you sat on in the last 2 years, excluding the committees if you were on council itself?
I had lots of formal committees for the township in the last few years either.
Through to development adjustment, 2 terms on the property standards.
I just moved here in the last 2 years, so zero.
Recreation committee.
Now the property standards, committee of adjustment and fence viewers.
On council, Monaco council committees, I have not been on any of those, but I've been on county council committees prior.
Thank you very much. The fourth question from the public. We've kind of had this one, but what do you think the township needs to do to help attract and promote more businesses to the area?
To attract more businesses, I think we have to present Montague what it is to the potential business owners. There's lots of vacant properties around, developed into business areas, our business park, the city's been sitting empty. We need to come up with a scheme to attract these people, whether it's some kind of promotional thing, and we need to emphasize the location where we are. 170 close to Montague, we have an airport for deliveries coming in and out. Our roads that run from Montague into Ottawa are in good shape going northward. Really, we're only less than 35 minutes from Ottawa, so businesses need to know that. And our rail system runs right through Montague and also too, so thank you.
Yeah, I think our business park that we have now, because it's got the water lines right behind it, water input for Smith Falls, it limits what we can put in the business park. So there's so much red tape on any business that tries to expand or tries to build in there. It's just a bad location. I think the township should be investing in a new area for business, a business area. The area that we have is really not suitable for a lot of businesses. I know there's a few we could put in there that are environmental problems, but with the water input area right behind us, behind that area, it's not a good area. We need to look at that new piece of property. Thank you.
Well, I'm really excited about the Economic Development Committee that's hopefully coming into works. A lot of the new businesses are home-based. I think the internet is very important to people, and we need to get a high-speed internet available. And we also have to promote ourselves at things that are going around. Like I've been to a couple, the landmark festivals and things like that. People aren't even sure where Montague is, and I think we have to promote ourselves better in some way.
The key would be marketing and also presenting an option, whether it's developing a plan around the aerodrome, you have to have an option and then a marketing plan to get those people to look at the option.
Maybe we should look at finding some land to build a business park. Obviously, the other ones aren't working. The water, very big issue. I understand that. They always look at that. And I really agree with marketing the town. Chip, it's so beautiful. We gotta get people to come and see it for themselves. When they see it, it's gonna, my God, whatever they driving on Sunday. I mean, so I don't know if the money's there for a promotional thing like that, but it's that we can take a long, hard look at. You know, maybe we can get some help along the way through Tourism Ontario. I don't know. But we can certainly look at it.
I think what we should try to find is an area that would meet the current modern day standards for commercial business to develop and build their operational structure advising, because the property over on the industrial park, there are numerous already number of companies that have title to a portion of that property, and not one of them has built anything on it, and I see where one company started to build over there, and due to the restrictions on the environment and the government regulations, even though they had the foundation plan laid out and the infrastructure to support concrete, they couldn't get it done because of the additional cost due to the environmental aspects. We have to work to locate a piece of property that would meet our current environmental standards and government protocols, and maybe have a look at some of the strict regulations that the township has in place in order to restrict building. I know some people that are trying to add additions to their commercial property are getting all kinds of restrictions and slowdowns from the township and the environmental people.
Well, just reflecting on that last comment, I think I would be one of those environmental people that we're talking about. I don't think we need to be attracting any businesses to the township that could be hurting our environment, hurting our health, and hurting Brandon and all those things. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that this is the sort of business we want to see in the neighborhood, one that we could both benefit from, not much our land, our air, our water, for some purpose, and our reputation. I just want, I would want to, at the same time, offer as a resident here, as an owner here, that this township is one of the healthiest and most livable places to be in all of Ontario. And I think if we were able to do that, we would be attracting healthy environmental companies that do well for us and that do well for themselves in terms of how they can live and work and thrive here.
Thank you, everyone. And for the final question from the public. If you could change one bylaw or zoning code, I'm assuming that's zoning bylaw, what would it be and why?
If I want to make it pretty clear that my theme is all about health and the environment, the zoning part that I would change would be that we do not bring into the township any sort of business or any type of enterprise that's going to hurt the environment, whether it be the air quality that we have to deal with in the township. So that's the one thing I would want to be very clear about.
With the suggested changes for the bylaws, I would have to have a better look at the current bylaw and zoning documentation and attempting to do that, going through the 100-page portfolio that all that stuff now exists on. It might be a bit time consuming, so I'm not sure what changes the township could make at this point, but I believe there's one of these suggestions come up as a result of the bylaw review process that's being started.
I agree 100%, and I don't think I know all of the zoning bylaws. Is the Anne issue with the water and Smith Fault, is that a bylaw or a zoning issue? Not really?
It's a bylaw.
It's not. I have to check the bylaw for the honest with you.
For myself, I think any of the bylaws that go along with severing property, I think if we want to bring more people into Montague, you have to make it a lot easier to sever property. And I think if we do that, we can have more affordable lots for people to build on.
At the bylaw meeting last week that was held here, some of the bylaws that I really liked was the one that was going to lower the size of houses that are available. People don't need these huge houses. And also the bylaw allowing more than one residence on a lot, I like. I don't know all the bylaws, but I do like that those have been changed or are changing.
Yeah, the bylaws that they are proposing to be changed now, they are probably the ones that I would like changed. I have reviewed it with Kristen over the changes they have suggested and gave her a few suggestions of my own on how to reword a few of them, but the group that bylaws that Kristen and Forbes have presented to council, I think that's the best ones right now to be changed. Thank you.
Again, this was my answers. But I think the bylaws we have, the zoning, bylaws we have are good ones. We've worked on those over the years, but I think we should be more relaxed on some of our bylaws when it comes to building. We want to encourage people to build in the township. We want to encourage businesses to come here. So a little bit of leniency on some of those bylaws, I think would be helpful.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes part 3. So I will hand it back over to the chair, and just a reminder that a decision on the applicant will not be made this evening. It will be made at a special meeting next Tuesday, April 23rd at 6 p.m. in the council chambers at the township office.
Thank you, Madam. So moved by Deputy Mayor Carroll and seconded by Councilor Abbas, that council receive each applicant's statement of qualifications and responses to all questions asked of the applicants as information in this date. All in favor? And that's carried. So we have no report of municipal officers. Reports of committee, moved by Councilor Abbas, seconded by Councilor Crabtree. The council approved the minutes of the committee full meeting of April 2nd, 2024, and approved the recommendations contained within. All in favor? And that's carried. We have no petitions, no bylaws, no motion and notice of motion. No correspondence, unfinished business, other business? No. So for adjournment, because I'm not doing a question period. Moved by Councilor Crabtree, seconded by Deputy Mayor Carroll, that bylaw 4065/2024, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its regular meeting held Tuesday, April 16th, 2024, be it read the first, second, and third time and passed, signed, and sealed the 16th day of April, 2024. All in favor? And that's carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Carroll and seconded by Councilor Crabtree, that council adjourned the regular meeting of April 16th, 2024 at 8:08 p.m. until May 7th, 2024. No, April 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. or at the call of the chair. All in favor? And that's carried. So thank you, everyone.